Mathematics of ESP, why it works even if you don't believe in it. I just kind of want to point out here, kind of the few bits and pieces of interest here as to why I'm reaching the point where I have started Occupy ISS. I have put out the data that people need to be thinking about. I have shown that you cannot fight this, you cannot argue this. This is happening right now. It is human arrogance, and human arrogance alone, or arrogance and greed, actually. And I have pointed out also that because I am an extremely spiritual person, I've got this Revelations 2:17, which even the Pope can't beat or do anything about, and has run away. I have walked into that church over there and told them that, hey, your God and your saint that you make money off of wants you to come talk to me because you're teaching the wrong thing to the people. And they've literally just stopped bringing any kind of big, powerful, visiting clergy people from anywhere. So yes, the Roman Catholic Empire has run away. It understands that it is in its final hours. They don't want, they are so arrogant, they don't want to admit that they are the demons and the devils. This kind of stuff is all demon and devil by human creation. They don't want to admit to you that they are what they prophesize they would become, which is extremely arrogant and end up murdering everybody. I've also pointed out that because I have a half-brother that I've been trading computer secrets and computer knowledge and just basic other data and stuff about like the financial world and how it's collapsing and how it's a total house of cards right now. It's imaginary money and it's totally breaking down. You don't have anywhere you can go with it or do anything to correct it, because everything that they normally would have done for correcting, which is simply move the money base to another country, doesn't work when your entire planet is ecosystem, your entire environment that you live with is collapsing. Okay? So this person works for Northrop Grumman. Northrop Grumman creates and builds the B-1, B-1, B-2 bomber, the stealth bomber, the stealth fighter, okay, highly sophisticated, ultra top secret, and all that kind of stuff. He's a computer IT tech service specialist. He works very high up in the ranks. He was in 2015 when I was getting ready to leave the country. He was flying back and forth, California to Florida to Washington to Colorado to deal with stuff that he had to do and deal with there to work on their new latest national network. Okay, so he was actually in the building of the latest phase of the military machine. Okay, so therefore I am, as somebody who has been working, and he's been doing that for Northrop Grumman for about 20 years, okay? He and I, like I said, we've been trading SKUs for 30 years. So his job requires that he's investigated by the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the military brats on various levels in different departments and things like that. So he is investigated by these people as a standard rule of that job. Everybody down the line from him, including me, and especially me in the sense that I'm somebody that traded computer stuff with, and I'm somebody who's always been on the outside fringes as an investigative journalist. I go in, I learn something about somewhere, and I get out, like I did with the Los Angeles Sheriff Department, telling the police officers to shoot to kill, but lie to the public and tell them that the person made you fear for your life and you had to shoot. Here we are, 2018, and that is the most common statement you hear across the entire United States. Yeah, murder after murder of persons, and oh, we had to shoot. It's their fault. So yeah, I am very much aware that for at least 18 to 20 years, I have been under investigation by high-level military, high-level greedy people, high-level government people. Okay, there's no way getting around this. Okay, the fact that all of this stuff I'm putting out is getting censored to the point where the government trolls are telling me, "Oh, nobody's watching your stuff. You should just shut up and go away." And it's like, actually, it's the other way around. Why should I shut up? I'm putting this stuff out. It's up there. It's for people to learn. And you are a government troll who is doing it for money, and therefore you have nothing but greed to show for yourself. Okay, and even now I'm having a couple little trolls in the past 24 hours whose whole thing is to throw insult in my face instead of accepting the fact that I know what I'm talking about. I've got 58 years of being right. I'm not somebody walking up and saying, "Oh, I've never done anything in the world, but I've just suddenly become enlightened." No, I became enlightened 58 years ago. I transformed the world with the computer punch card Christmas wreath at 4 years of age in 1962. 2 years later, I have been making changes throughout your planet and the way things are happening and what's going on by various means. I've sold hundreds of thousands of photographs. I've had thousands of publishings in newspapers and magazines and books and all kinds of stuff. Okay, but because I have this Revelation 2:17, I've never gone after followers. Okay, I'm not really allowed to have followers, and all of a sudden here I am in 2018 being asked to try and create followers. So I know I've got an uphill battle. This is what I'm pointing at and showing to these people is you sell out so easily that in 2015 when I informed that extremely physically violent stepdad that okay, my parole's over, my situation's over, I have put myself back in a position where I can go ahead and move out, he totally freaked. The offers he made basically ran somewhere around $10 to $12 million that he was going to shift into my name. Okay, of his properties and his monies and his accounts and all this. Okay, the problem is that this is like the 7th or 8th time this person has started babbling how he's going to give me lots and lots and lots of money if all I do is be a slave to his desires. He also freaked out that I had safely, legally, and medically clean and proper removed an illegal drug I was forced to take by torture. By literal threat of death, I had to take a drug. Because I was intelligent enough to read Big Pharma and medical safety data sheets, I knew I wasn't going to walk out of the jail and just throw it in the trash. That is their way of doing things. That is why your medical industry is extremely full of people with mental conditions, because they are being put on drugs that are crafted and designed by Big Pharma to cause chemical imbalance. They're just like the fact that fluoride, once a poison on the shelves, was removed from being a obvious poison on the shelves, and within about a period of about 15 years, became a national advertising campaign of the government that everybody should be fluoriding themselves daily, if not multiple times a day. Now, along with this stepdad, trying to arrange, for me to be bought out and sell myself out for some $10 to $12 million. The Johnny's Auto Clinic, where I had been going for about 1.5 years, and the guy had been beautiful, wonderful work. He knew it. His mechanics knew what they were doing. They were doing a very good job and all. he stops doing any work on my car and just takes my money. Okay, as I had posted some time back, this is the receipt for my having $4,090.43 worth of a rebuilt transmission and new clutch and rear wheel seals and bearings and all kinds of stuff like this. I had also paid him to do a complete brake job. Okay, he did not do the brake job, he did not do the transmission job, he never even took the transmission out of the truck. He just simply held my truck for 3 days and told me it was done, knowing that I would come in from almost 100 miles away to get that truck and then take off on a road trip of some 6,000 to 10,000 miles, where I would be 100 miles or more from any kind of service, any kind of phone cells and stuff like that. So Johnny's Auto Clinic did purposely contemplate murder for $4,000. Did purposely contemplate, and I don't remember how much I paid for the brake job, but it was about $1,000 in and of itself also. So, figure this guy for, $5,000, $6,000 did absolutely everything he could to murder a human being. I don't know how much money he was given from anybody else, but it's pretty obvious that you people sell out for a few bucks and you really don't care about anything. So stop and consider that I am the white horseman of the apocalypse, which means I am the general for the military and armies of Christ. Yeah. All you Christians and Catholics that have been slapping me in the face and calling me a liar and a cheat and an insane person and stuff, you have been insulting your God to the absolute maximum. You do not go to heaven. You cannot go to heaven, because you have literally denied the God you claimed was going to give you heaven. You have denied that God's general, truth-sayer, and because I work not just for Christ, but all of the spiritual realm, whether you're a Buddhist, a Hindu, a Muslim, a Jew, you have insulted your gods because you are doing everything you can to work against those gods and deny those gods the right to teach you how to be a better person or even save your lives. Okay? That is how foolish and cheap you are, and that is why for me it's like, fine, I have put the energy into starting this revolution. I will now, basically, I'm not going to totally sideline it, but I'm going to put it off to the side and go back to my other daily life. My rain sticks, I don't even need them. 2005, I proved that by taking Hurricane Katrina and literally shoving it up the mouth of the Mississippi River so hard it took the United States, months, literally months, if not years, to figure out what happened. And as you can see, with it was like 337 rivers in flood stage in the United States, and you have two major storms colliding right now. You've got Hurricane Michael coming up and taking out Florida, Georgia, Carolina, North Carolina. And you have behind that a massive storm that is totally destroying, any crops you had, and, flooding coming in from that direction. And then about a day or so after that passes along a little bit, you're going to have Sergio come up and through, which is again going to go ahead and flood from Arizona on across, depending on how the jet streams take it. So you people are literally denying what's going on your planet. You're denying that all of your infrastructure, all the countries that export to you to import as food and merchandise to sell, are also equally as bad off. Your entire social structure is collapsing. Your entire infrastructure around the planet is collapsing. You have nothing you can say, because you have assaulted your own gods in order to prove that humans are more arrogant than gods.